If you're familiar with going to the gym, or if you are a gym person, then you probably have a weekly split, which means that, or an example of it might be that you do upper body on Mondays and Wednesdays and lower body on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and maybe you do core and cardio on Fridays. That is an example of a weekly split where you are hitting the different parts of the body twice a week, and it just makes it easier for you to remember what to do, and also keeps you well-rounded with your exercises and staying fit or staying healthy. So as a content creator, you can also use this concept to create a weekly split for your content or what you're posting. And we're going to go ahead and get into how this will make your life easier as a content creator and make your life easier when you're trying to come up with content ideas. Hi, I'm Ariana. I'm a content strategist, a content creator, and on this channel, we talk about socials for business, content creators, and work-life balance, efficient content creation, and all that fun stuff. If conversations and content like this interest you, I highly recommend subscribing. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in. So now that you kind of have the backstory of what a weekly split is, a weekly content split is basically splitting up your formats of your content to help you create content ideas or come up with content to post or topics to talk about. And we're going to get into exactly how to do this. So if coming up with content ideas is an issue for you, or it's just feels like pulling teeth all the time from your brain, a content weekly split will make it much easier. Now, if you do have an issue with coming up with content ideas, I highly recommend sitting down with your strategy and kind of going back to basics. So your strategy is literally your game plan on how you show up on social media. It's basically taking your brand as a whole, who you're speaking to in your content, and merging these two together to come up with ideas and topics that your audience cares about, and also that relates back to your brand so that you can reach your social media goals, whatever those are. So your social media goals as a creator can be different from that of a business owner. As a business owner, you might want to focus on kind of creating leads, getting sales, and more of getting people to know, like, and trust you so that they'll buy from you. Whereas a creator, you might want to create know, like, and trust with your audience so that brands or dream brands will recognize you and want to work with you, and you can make money that way. So first and foremost, before you do create a weekly split, you need to have your strategy down. And if you need a strategy upgrade or a strategy refresh, I do have a full social media strategy template that I created that you can literally just plug your brand into and create a solid social media strategy that will help you post content to reach your specific social media goals, so that every time you see another social media hack on your For You page, you won't be phased. So moving on from the step of having a social media strategy, now that I'm assuming that you have a social media strategy, this is how you create a weekly split. So in your social media strategy, this is also where you create your posting schedule. Your posting schedule consists of the formats that you're posting in and when you are going to post this. So a weekly split is basically, to give you an example, for Instagram, Monday and Tuesday, we're posting reels. Wednesday and Thursday, we're posting carousels. Fridays, we can do a live, we can go at it on our story posts, or we can just post another reel. That is basically what a weekly split is. And this can be really, really helpful with coming up with content ideas, because now you have a place to start. Now, a couple things that I do want to mention when you are creating a weekly split, just to keep in mind when you are just creating this kind of concept or this foundation for yourself, is to be mindful of what you're creating. So if you want to create a weekly split of creating 2 face-to-camera reels every week, then you want to make sure that these formats are feasible for you, or that you're capable of creating these 2 face-to-camera reels where you sit down and talk to the camera every week, because this is the way that you stay consistent. And if you cannot realistically film 2 of these videos every week, then you are not going to keep up with this weekly split. So just make sure that your content creation process is thought of or intentional with your weekly split or your posting schedule. Now, this is also something that is thought of or kind of planned out in your strategy, which is another reason why you should have a social media strategy, because that's going to make creating a weekly split much easier. Now, to give you an example of my current weekly split, I am currently posting one two face to camera reels on Mondays and Wednesdays. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I post a B-roll reel, which is just kind of like background video or just random videos from my camera roll that still have to do, the visuals still have to do with my brand. So maybe it's like me typing on my computer or my laptop, or me kind of opening up my tripod, and then I just kind of match it up with a trending audio, and then I kind of maybe like follow a trend or kind of just create a concept out of nowhere, out of my strategy, but it's not me talking to the camera. And then on Fridays, I try to post an actual trend where I actually sit down and film maybe like a lip syncing trend or like an intentional trend. So my weekly split is Monday, Wednesday face to camera video, Tuesday, Thursday B-roll video, and then Friday is a trend. I actually also kind of alternate to posting carousels on Thursdays as well when I do have time to create that. So you can also create like a backup weekly split or a backup post when you do have more time to put into that piece of content. But this really helps me come up with content ideas because I know what's coming next week. I know what I need to film every week, and I know which post topics or which posts need a little bit more attention. For example, my face to camera videos need a little bit more time to plan because I like to script them out in bullet point format. So I need a little bit more time to sit down and think about what I'm going to say, and also kind of be intentional with what I'm saying related to my goals of that post. So my Monday face to camera video has the goal of kind of warming up my audience and kind of giving them tips most of all. And then my Wednesday face to camera video is a longer face to camera video where the goal of that post is to create conversions and get people buying my products or my services. So this is such an easy kind of way to come up with content ideas or to plan your content, because now the starting point and the formats and the foundation of your content is already there. All you need to do is think of a topic to talk about to just literally stick into it. So it's basically like you're creating a template for what you're posting. So if you do struggle with coming up with content ideas, I really hope that this will help you. If you try and plan your content like this is kind of like a hack or just kind of like a way that you can do it to make your life a lot easier and also be very intentional with what you're posting. And if a concern of yours is being a little bit repetitive and I don't know, you kind of like to stay spontaneous, I'm here to tell you that being repetitive is really not a problem with social media because there are so many creators and so many people constantly posting things. Your audience, I promise, will not get tired of whatever you're posting. And also, if you are posting things that look the same all the time or just feel the same, that is just kind of reinforcing your branding. So that is making your audience remember you because you are being consistent with what they're seeing. So hopefully now you have a better idea of another way that you can plan your content and make your life a lot easier and come up with content ideas. Again, if you need an upgrade on your strategy, definitely check out my template in the link in the description down below. You can literally just plug in your brand and I show you exactly how to create a strategy that is results motivated and also you coded so that you can actually stick with this and use it to show up every day and also get results. So if you enjoyed today's video, I really appreciate if you leave a like down below. It really does help me out. If you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe before you leave. And if you have any other video suggestions that you'd like to see from me, please let me know down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!